Welcome to the Evening Review. I'm Matthias Haufiku, news editor of the Namibian Sun newspaper. Well, since the advent of independence, the Popular Democratic Movement has been the longest-serving opposition party in the country. Of course, there has been interruptions there, somewhere there in the middle. But the party still prides itself as the most genuine and most realistic alternative to the ruling party. Of course, as Namibia will head to the polls next year, PDM will be one of the parties availing themselves to say to Namibians, well, we are here as an alternative, choose us and give us a chance. For that, we have in studio the party's Secretary General, Mr. Manuel Ngaringombe. Good evening and welcome, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Ofiku. Good evening, dear listeners.
So it's a pleasure having you here. Well, elections just around the corner. The party still has one big hurdle to cross before you focus on the presidential and the general elections towards the end of next year. The party's Congress, always a very heated affair. It brings a lot of dynamics, but that also boils down to how you, as the leadership of the party, manages the affairs leading up to that convention. Could you perhaps give us a brief summary and update as to how far the party is in that regard?
Thank you very much. Yes, I have to inform you that it's true what you are saying. Next year, 2024, around April, May, the party will hit to its elective Congress for the national leadership of the movement. We have started full swing with those preparations on different ways. One is that we are busy with mobilization, recruitment and restructuring of branches that we have started a long time ago. We have to restructure all branches of the party within the 121 constituencies of this country. And we are busy with that exercise that is led by the Office of the Secretary General, through the Secretary for Organization, the regional coordinators, assigned leaders are also very much involved in the exercise. I also have to inform you that we have other important structures that are the wings, the elders, the youth league, the women's league that are also busy preparing to restructure themselves. And if all things goes according to plan, towards the end of this year, we'll have our regional congresses, somewhere early next year, we'll have our congresses of the wings, and then we will move on to the National Congress of the movement. Yeah. But all plans are underway, and we just want to follow the constitutional requirements of the party to have a Congress that have much important results to deliver by that time.
Yeah. Congress will be taking place just months before the national elections. And knowing how these things normally play out at Congress, it's normally heated contestations, which in some instances, if not managed well, leads to divisions within the party ranks and so on. Does this give the PDM as a movement enough time to recover before the elections and focus on the mission at hand?
It's not for our first time to have a Congress within almost 6 to 7 months towards an election. It's not our first time. It's happening as it is part of our current constitution. We have gone through these hurdles many years before. Recently, we have gone through the same exercise. What we need to understand is that when you are going to any contestations, people are very excited. There are issues happening. There are happenings between congresses and so forth. But the biggest thing is that you should ask yourself, what is our common goal, our common vision? So I believe that whatever happened at Congress, what should lead us is the common goal that we have, not for us as individual leaders within the movement, but the vision that the movement has towards Namibians. And that should be the determining factor, whether who occupied which positions, who did not make it to what position is not the matter, because the congresses, internal congress, is not about winners and losers. It's just to have people that will help you to manage the organization, to manage a party, and to manage the processes that leads to election of a specific government that should lead. So I think the vision and mission is not who's occupying what positions, but is the ultimate goal of how we are going to govern Namibia and who are we going to trust to help us to lead the organization or the vehicle that lead us to governing the country. So yes, I believe in PDM we have a vision, we have a goal, we have some aims that is broader than just the Congress. So what will happen in Congress will be happening towards Congress, but our ultimate goal is for the welfare of this country and the populace of this country.
What would Namibia look like under a PDM government?
There is one thing that we need to look at. Every person must be proud to be associated with your home. When I am working at the Metia Holdings here, and I'm going knock off to go home at 5, I should be happy to go home. I think there is one phrase that is being used that Namibia is the home that we have. It's really our home. We want Namibia to be an equitable home for every Namibian. We want Namibians to enjoy the wealth of their country. We want Namibians to have equal opportunities when it comes to job creation, entrepreneurship, whatever opportunities of this country, our people must enjoy the fruits of independence. And we believe that that has been limited. It was to certain circles of our communities and so forth. What the PDM wants to do is that if we take over government, we want every Namibian not to feel home, not to be made to feel home only, but to really see practically that I'm a Namibian and I'm enjoying life as a Namibian.
A lot of Namibians have over the years somehow used, especially local authority and regional council elections, as a yardstick to really measure as to whether opposition parties are up to the task to lead this country. Of course, that is where opposition parties can really show, to say, look, this is what we're already doing at this level. Now, just imagine if you give us the country to manage. What has been your view as far as local authority and regional council elections and performance over the years is concerned? How has it been? Is it something that that will instill confidence in the voters to say, let's give these guys a chance at the most highest level in the country?
I think what we should understand is that, especially the 2020 regional local authority election, I think that's your question. And I'm having experiences of being in coalition. And I also had an experience of leading a town just independently as PDM. Everything having a learning factor. One, I think when we are leading, when we are getting positions, what we need to train people and help people, especially as part of capacity building, is to help people to understand that you were looking for votes. You now got the votes, you have to lead. It's people now to get out of the excitement that they have before elections and the excitement that I'm now a leader. And I think that have, especially in the city of Windhoek, I think that was a challenge. People to understand that we must lead. But also you have many factors. And I know you're asking from Windhoek. Windhoek is a metropolitan town. I also have seen that, yes, there was here and there a lot of hiccups. People could not agree on certain things that they should agree to. It was new role players coming together and try to navigate the process of leading such a major municipality. However, also you have your internal people, your executives, your people that you are reporting to. You also have those that were leading that are no more leading and their influences and so on. But I think for me, it looks like the dust is bit to settle. I don't see 100% happy with the results that I really wanted to see, especially of service provisions like land delivery, housing delivery to the people. The issue of sanitation, I was shocked that people are still struggling with toilets and so forth. I think this is the third year. I just want to hear more of what is happening at the city. There is now another new coalition, and let's hope. But what I want to say is that people are trying. I went to Walvis Bay. I'm seeing what is happening there. I think they have challenges, but they are trying to navigate the ship in a direction. The PDM, we are leading the Oneuptwo Town Council as PDM. For the first time, I think we have 4 local authority councillors. The mayor management is PDM. If you go to Oneuptwo now and you're in Oneuptwo before 2020 and see what is happening in Oneuptwo, I think we are doing a good job. And we said if you want to know whether we will lead this country or not, look at what is happening in Oneuptwo. Oneuptwo is one of the poorest regions in here. It was been seen as a marginalized region and so forth. But I think there are things happening in the right step. Although I don't agree with the things saying regions are poor. Regions are poor because we are failing to properly manage resources in those regions that we are calling it to be poor. Yes. If I give you the examples of regions that are being called to be poor and the natural resources that they have to sustain them and to make them one of the exceptional world regions, then the question is, are we having poor regions or are we having poor governance of those regions? But Oneuptwo is a classic example that we are really bringing about development. We are having a service delivery, we are giving land, we are bringing up housing, we have housing programs, we are bringing in businesses to go to Oneuptwo. They are now busy building national soccer stadium or a regional soccer stadium for the region. There are things that they are really seeing. And every time I go to Oneuptwo, I ask myself, oh, this thing was not here, now there is this and that is happening. So I think it depends. You have bring many people in a city like Windhoek, different ideologies, different opinions, different vision and mission, and say now lead it. But also understand that people came to a city like Windhoek that did not have any resources. It was one of the richest city, but it's struggling to keep up. It have more debts than any capital to run projects and so forth. So when you take any bankrupt organization and to lead it, you will also have challenges. Maybe that should be one of the challenges, but I believe that those that are leading, we should do more, we should bring out more, and but there was always changes. But I think it's a very complex situation, and what is happening is that there was no time where we just decided to abandon everything. There were always, if this is not working, let's try this. If that is not working, let's try this. And I think, yes, I believe the opposition may lead, but I'm also more convinced that the PDM, with a proof record of being a opposition party in this country and what we have bring on the table in this country, we are ready and we will be able to lead this country.
Yeah. Politics aside, we still keep on singing the same songs, lack of sanitation, housing, and so on. Where are we going wrong as a country?
Priorities. Our priorities as leaders are wrong. We have said for years, and some of my friends and so forth in the Ministry of Defense are questioning me, Mr. Ngaringombe, why are you saying that we need security? It's true we need security, but I'm asking myself, is our budget right for defense to have a very high budget, for example? Where should we put more money? Also, when we comes with projects that we are trying to do in a country, with issues, resources that can give us finances. How do we manage them? So for me, its priority is wrong. First, we think of enriching myself as Manuel before I bring positive development to a country. We have so much money that have gone away with organizations such as the SME Bank, for example. A lot of money. These corruption scandals, I don't want to mention them. This fish road, I don't want to mention them just for political issues. But if we have taken those resources and invest them in building the lives of Namibians, taking fishing quotas, giving it to regional councillors, local authorities, certain percentages, and do something out of it, it could have worked. But you will find out that these quotas are sold to people, and the person will sell that quota to a foreign person, get their benefits, drive luxury cars, living in luxury suburbs, building personal lives, and forget what is happening. And if you look at our EPLs, our minerals, for example, the mining, the country having 10% of the mining licenses, while those foreign investors that we say are having 90%, and the 10% is also not well managed. I think it's the issue of management and prioritizing. If government should have said, we have this stake on these minerals, this is what we have as a country, this is what we will give to foreign investors, and they must do ABCD, they must play on our terms, they must helping us to manufacture things, certain products here, we get the end products here, we do ABCD, and then when we have to divide this wealth, this goes to government coffers, this will go to institutions such as local authorities, regional councillors, to be able to bring necessary services to the people and so forth. We could have done something. But I think we entrusted people to run these different institutions that are managing our resources, our natural resources, that are not doing the right thing. But also the issues of budgeting.
Mr. Secretary General, let me just pause you briefly there, just so we can head for a short commercial break.
Great.
And I'll allow you to continue with your thought. Well, to our viewers, we head for a short commercial break, and we'll be back to continue this conversation.
To another exciting episode of Oneuptwo. We bring jou lees die weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis julle mondstuk gaan byt.
Welcome back from that short break. Mr. Ngaringombe, you have spoken passionately about how you think the poor prioritization and the management of resources has been some of the leading causes as to why the country is still stuck in this phase of a lot of socio-economic challenges. Could you just continue where you left off?
Yes, and I want to make some example. For example, we have the Kunene region, Zambezi, Kavango East and West, regions that are being also clarified as poor regions, that have streams of waters, rivers, that are flowing throughout the year. And they are in certain areas like Musati region and other regions, Kavango East, West, Zambezi, they have very big green schemes that can fit the whole of Namibia. What are we doing if we take earnings from the reserves from our fish, the reserves from our mines and so forth, and invest in these projects? It will create employment. It will bring forth food security. It will help to develop even those specific regions themselves. But what is happening now, our green schemes are becoming ghost areas. There is nothing. It's white ghost. There is nothing happening there. And also, if you look at the waters, we can use that water to have our own water. Enough water to supply and to do whatever. We can use the water and whatever we have, what we are trying now with hydrogen, to even have our own electricity and so forth. But what are we doing? We have the waterfalls, everything. What are we doing? Electricity we are importing. Everything in this country we are importing. We don't use what we have. Rice we have to import. Macaroni we have to import. We have a little that is trying to be done with pasta and whatever. But all things we are importing. But we have the resources that we can have. And even if we are exporting, what we are getting from the export is peanuts. It's very little. And those little we also don't invest it at the right places. So if you take Omaheke, the Kavangos, Ochodonjupa, the Harta, Karas and so forth, these are small and big livestock farmers. What are we doing as a country to give value to cattle, to sheep, to goat, and help those people to live from that and change our agricultural sector as one of a very strong sector to do something good to the country and to take that money and improve people's life. Why do we give buttons to young people in universities, for example? I finished grade 12, I go to university, I got NANSAF bursary. When I start to work, I must pay back NAFSFAF. And I'm struggling not to get a job. I'm having a debt here that is following me. There is no free bursaries. It's like a loan. And then when I got a job, I have to say, why can we not take these monies from the reserves of these resources and say we give this amount to our learners, of our students of higher institutions, and pay them as a bursary and not a loan. But we cannot do that if we don't understand the priority. If our stomach is first and the country second, that's a problem that I'm seeing in this country, and I'm not politicizing it. This is practical things that we are seeing. How many of us are being challenged by ACCs and things that are happening and millions that are getting missing? Somewhere, somehow, those loopholes, first of all, corruption, mass management of country resources, that somebody must come with a key, a serious lock to lock those doors or those loopholes for this country to prosper.
Just as we head towards the end, as a member of the public, it could easily be said that, but it's easy for opposition parties to point out all these things and suggest or make these propositions. Is there an avenue for this type of propositions to be taken up? As per your experience over the years, do you think there's a willingness from those in power, say, party so-and-so came up with this proposition? It's actually a workable proposition. Let's take it up. Do you think we have that humility as a country to take views from opposing ends?
It could have worked if we were ready to learn from one another over the years. The problem is when motions and questions and so forth come into Parliament, the first question is not how relevant is this question or how relevant is this motion. The question is from which angle is it coming from. If it is from the opposition, let's just make noise and if it is so tough, why can we not say let's vote? We don't look at motions and things and really look at them and say let it go through. I'm very happy that there were 2 motions that I applaud government for, but I know it's also because of the outside pressure from the populace or from the electorates, and I support and I thank them for that. Is the motion of Honorable Ina Engari on youth unemployment, because it was a national pressuring issue. Government subdue or they accepted it and it's going through and they are trying to do something and so forth. But in general, we don't want to listen to one another. I believe that when people go to Parliament at the legislature, they should not see each other just only from the political perspective. They should understand that we are here now to serve Namibians. We are here now to deliver services. And whoever say whatever, if that is for the benefit of Namibians, we should then support that, we should encourage that, and we should say yes to that. But if we are still playing politics in parliament, politics when we are even sitting in cabinets and so forth, politics at our regional and local authority chambers, we shall never serve these people. And I want a government that says, once you are elected, once election is over, you must deliver. And also, there must be a criteria, not a criteria, but I was hearing that government is going to have a systems to evaluate the deliverables of political office bearers. I don't see it really happening. If it was happening, many heads could have rolled. And I think that's what we must do. When you go to serve in a specific, even a specific sector or ministry or whatever, you should have the know-how. I was asking someone, blaming me and say, yeah, PDM, why are you coming with issues of qualifications and interviews and people must apply to become a local or regional authority councillors? I said, how do you have a person lead a metropolitan city like Windhoek if they can't define the word development? If they can't define the word financial management? So I'm just saying it. I'm not looking down on people's qualifications, but we must. When I came to politics, people were saying, when I go to politics, it's just for people that don't know what to do. Thank God, with the organization where I am, we have people in politics who know what to do. And we deliberately go and get those people that have the know-how and what to do. And that is what we must do. It's a service, a very serious service. And we need all of us. Even if PDM become victorious in 2024 and become the governor of the government of this country, we will need certain technocrats from the ruling party. We will need certain political leaders from the party to say, come, let's steer this ship. But if you are just saying, it's just for me and my people, and we have come this and have done that, all these good rhetorics, it will not save our country.
Mr. Ngaringombe, thank you very much for your time this evening. We wish you well for your work ahead.
Thank you very much, and I want to assure Namibians, and my last word, we have given permission for governance of this country. I think that permission has expired. We need a new government, and PDM is ready and able to be that government.
Thank you. Well, to our viewers, that's it from the Evening Review team. I wish it was an insightful show. See you again tomorrow, same time, same place.